and what's really going on, which is why they allowed, as I said, the Arabs to come in there and do what they did. What other people dig up their dead and put their bodies on display, raid the tombs and everything like that and make money off of it. Nobody else does that. Everybody else respects their ancestors and respects the dead of their people, and they don't put that stuff out there like that. You don't see George Washington's body out there. You don't even see Abdul Malik's body out there on display by the Arabs, or any of the so-called holy people's bodies out there on display for tourists to come and pay money and take pictures and everything like that. It's crazy. Of course they would do it to a people that's not theirs. But, you know, the whole thing with Northern Africa and them and the whole sub-Saharan thing is, again, them trying to steal history. It's just easy to see. So everybody that's not Northern Africa is sub-Saharan and deemed dark. And, you know, all of the culture and all of the knowledge that came out of the North, they want to try to steal for themselves. And again, when you go into Morocco, which the Moroccans are completely ignorant of their culture and their history, and people believe that because their people existed for, you know, a few hundred years or 1,000 years, that somehow gives them complete and total claim over the land, not realizing that, no, your ancestors came in there and took it from African people, which is why you're in Africa. You're in the north of Africa. There are some remnants still of black people there. Same thing in Egypt when I went there. I was shocked to see so many black faces. Africans are there still. And even when you look at a lot of the Arabs, of course, their skin is dark. You know, not as dark as mine, but still dark. Not nowhere near like as that statue in most cases. You know, so it's ridiculous. And it's one of those things where when you understand the history and what's going on, you can see right through this stuff. But my whole point is I don't want people to get, you know, too riled up about this joke, because it's a joke. It's funny. When I seen it, I was like, I knew when they took the cloth off that it was going to be some pasty-faced bitch there looking like, you know, she from Europe. And it's crazy. And clear as day, when you look at the depictions of her, Nefertiti, that she has African features and she's in no way disliked. But by them saying that, you know, the Arabs are there and they can kind of cast out on people who are not knowledgeable, who do not do their research. But we know 14th century BCE, nobody with that skin complexion was ruling in Kemet. That's for damn sure. Nobody with that skin complexion would survive that long in Kemet. That's for damn sure. No Europeans. It's not even, you know, bordering on, Arab, you know, or like a light-skinned black person. It's white to me. And I'm like, what? And it's crazy. So a lot of people definitely is pissed off about it, but it's just another one of those things that they are trying to do to steal our history and keep us, you know, pissed off. So again, as I said, there is no debate. There's no question when you actually go there in Kemet. You can see what's going on. You can see what happened. And for the most part, a lot of the depictions that you see are completely dark skin. Even the ones that you look at that you see is like reddish brown or light brown. A lot of them was changed from dark, from black. And as I showed you guys in the picture, you have this Arab tour guide here, the guy who basically takes care of this tomb, showing me how the Greeks and the Romans came in there and the Egyptologists of today, how they came in there and they took the black off a lot of the reliefs on the wall, how they changed the color. Now, it's one thing when you actually go there and it's being pointed out to you. It's even crazier when you see it on, you know, mainstream media, on live TV, that the result is this, you know, that you see exactly what they are doing and what they're trying to do. And the fact that, one, the true story, where you have people telling you clear as day, hey, they have been changing skin color and changing the depictions from black to just, you know, regular sand or to lighter skin. And they've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for a long time. And it's crazy. It's crazy. This is important to us because it's our history, and it's the little bit of history that we have left that is being stolen. We can see clearly what they're trying to do because they own the media, because they run Hollywood. They can depict what they want, and they put into the minds of people that this is the truth, and people are buying it. Clear as day. which is why I tell you guys you need to know your history and know what's going on and know what happened. We're putting too much time and energy behind this, and this is not real. They're giving you a fictional story, a fictional character of a fictional land. And I heard some people say, how you know it's fictional? How you know it wasn't real and they got it from an actual real place? You should know damn well you can't trust mainstream media to give you any kind of truth about African history. There's always an agenda in there somewhere. So again, you know, while a lot of people are excited and we're all excited about the Black Panther movie, you got to remember this is still Disney. This is still a company that's racist. It's still mainstream media. It's still controlled by the same people who are, you know, pushing white supremacy and, you know, pushing this whole system that has been oppressing us, you know, since day one. So we got to remember that. And a lot of people, you know, are not going to be able to look deeper into the Black Panther movie once it comes out, which the reason why I'm going to see it because I want to look deeper into it and see what they're really trying to say and what they're really hiding. You know, if they stick to the whole Marvel universe thing and the way it's supposed to go, then it should be fine. But we know they don't do that. It's always a hidden agenda when it comes to Marvel, which is why I tell you guys to make sure you watch. But, you know, we can't keep, you know, putting so much time, effort, and money into stuff that's not really supporting us. And it's used as a trick to get us to be, you know, to jump on to something that's going to help them fulfill their agenda, basically. So we got to see it for what it is. And don't go there when you go see this movie and get too drawn into, you know, the action and, you know, the power and everything like that and how good we look in the movie. Understand what it's about. Understand it. Don't get caught up in the trap. Don't get caught up in it. Understand it's fictional and there's agenda behind that movie. So we'll see once it comes out what it's really about and what the theme is really saying. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to see it. And already, as I showed you guys, when they're putting out stuff like that, be careful, be mindful, and you know, definitely be on your toes when you go to these movie theaters when the shit come out, because who knows what's going to happen. And I said that before, but just be cautious because they like to do shit like that. So when we look at the historians and the people who knew about antiquity and wrote about it, you know, again, nobody has ever mentioned in any book that when the Greeks or when the Persians or when the Romans came into Kemet, that they was conquering white people. They all say the same thing, that they were conquering African people, black people, plain as day. So, you know, of course we know about the Ptolemaic era, as I talked about in Ancient History Part 2, about the whole wars of the Diadochi. We know this is the time when the Greeks came in and took over. And you have, of course, at this time, white people ruling in Kemet. There is no time before this time that you see depictions of Greeks dressed as Egyptians. They want to be us so bad, so bad. When they conquered us, the first thing they did was put our clothes on, dress like us, change their society to try to mimic ours, and change what they was doing to mimic ours. We see on the dollar, which has not changed. They keep their dollar that same way. All the bills have changed since that dollar came out, except for that dollar. And that's their crest. That's their seal, their decree. You know, their empire has been crowned a success. And we see that pyramid there because it stems all the way back to the time when they conquered Kemet and they got the knowledge, which is what all that stuff is about. And we can't get too drawn into this shit. Know your history, know what's going on, see through it all, and don't be getting in these heated debates with these folks who ignorant. Plain and simple. Let them be ignorant. You know, if you got the knowledge, then you know the truth. I just usually point people straight to a book and be like, you know, Wallace Budge, or you have another white man we could point to, R.A. Swallow the Lubics. You know, your own historians, Herodotus, Diodorus, you know, all these other historians and people who lived and was there to actually, you know, witness. A lot of people don't understand that Herodotus was actually there when the Persians was ruling in Kemet. About 75 years after they was ruling, Herodotus was there, and Herodotus says it clear as day. They were black. So all you got to do is point them in that direction and say, well, the people who was actually there, the people who lived during that time, who seen these people, all say they were black. When you go into the tomb of Seti I, Ramses III, the depictions of themselves, they depicted themselves and said, this is us, black. Plain and simple. And it's clear, it's easy. We don't got to get all frustrated by this. Just understand, it's laughable. It's a joke. It's a joke. They funny to put that crap out there and try to get people to believe that that's exactly what she looked like. And the stupid freaking, the guy is like, oh, it's accurate and, DNA and everything like that. It's bullshit. When you control mainstream media, you can say whatever you want. You can come on TV and say whatever you want when you run that shit, but we all know the truth. So as hard as it may be for some of you really touchy, emotional Europeans, you white folks, plain and simple, when you do the research, and a lot of you know this already because I speak to a lot of Europeans, a lot of white folks, they know that they stole everything. And as hard as it is for you to accept that, it's the truth. You stole this country. You stole everything. Everything was stolen. Majority from us. All of it from us, you might as well say. And that's your legacy. The fact that mainstream media is controlled by the people who want to hide your legacy doesn't make your legacy not true. It just means the bad guy won. You guys are in control, so you can control the narrative and what things look like and how things are perceived. But in reality, in truth, it's stolen. Your culture, stolen. Everything that you have these people in these European nations proud of and thinking that they discovered and have on their own was stolen. Math, science, astrology, stolen. Everything has been stolen. The position you are in right now is because of theft, because you took advantage of a people who wanted to help you and stabbed them in the back. Your history is a sham. And you have a lot of people who want to rewrite that history and want the truth to come out. And it's either you're going to accept the lie or you're going to look for the truth. That is the hard truth right there. It's the facts. Murderers, rapists, your ancestors, you know it. And it's history. And just because we're speaking on it don't mean that we got a problem with you personally. We got a problem with the history and the fact that the people who is running this system is not telling the truth. They making us look bad and oppressing us when they are the ones who are in the wrong, when they are the ones who are the murderers and the thieves and the conquerors. And we are the ones who are rightful to this land and rightfully should be in power, plain and simple. And that's been taken. And we have already been on record and proven as one never attacking no country. Kemet never attacked nobody. You can't go back in history and find an African country that attacked another country outside of Africa or tried to conquer anybody outside of Africa. The Africans, the Egyptians have never tried to conquer the world. Conquest is not in us. It's a European construct that they created, that they facilitate, that they have been doing for hundreds of years. You guys know this. War. That's all this government has been doing since America has been established, has been going into other countries, taking it over, stealing its natural resources, colonizing the place, mixing them with the people, and then now here you go. You go to Jamaica, you got white Jamaicans. It's crazy. You go down to Mexico, you got white Mexicans. White people go wherever they please and live wherever they please and don't pay no damn respect to the natives and the people who the land rightfully belong to. And it's not everybody, but it's the majority of white folks. And it's just every single race is looked down if you ain't white. You are a minority to the white folks. A minority to them, to white people. And that's crazy. You go into an African land, you're still the minority to them. You're still, inferior to them in Africa. When you have African people not being allowed in places in Africa. So now, the only way things is going to change, the only way things is going to get better is if you guys embrace the truth and stop defending it. Every time somebody talk about black history, somebody get offensive. Every time we say black, somebody feels some type of way. What's the problem? We're not talking about you. We're talking about history that existed before you that affects us. Plain and simple. So, as soon as you say something that has to do with slavery or the past or Jim Crow or civil rights, somebody feels offended. It's always an issue with that. Until you guys start embracing the truth and what your ancestors did and what happened for real, then we're going to have this conflict. It's deeper than just the skin color. It's deeper than just this whole, whole show, this whole segment they had on the Today Show. It's deeper than that. It's a lot more to it, as everybody should know, especially when you look at what has been taking place in this country over the last couple of years. It's a lot more to it. And, people want us to just turn around and act like we don't see what we see, when we are educated and a lot of people are awake now and understanding of true history. We can't just sit back and be quiet and accept it no more, because we know the truth. We're going to speak on it. So, I wanted to put this out real quick and just touch on it real fast. So, people who are not in the know about the history, we're going to keep running into this problem. And it's important for you guys to keep learning so you can teach your kids so they can know and see what they're trying to do to our history, and we can correct and rectify this bullshit, because it's crazy for them to do what they just did and put that out there like that. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting, and don't forget, the sale will end on Monday, so make sure you cop all 33 of the DVD digital downloads. And I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys next video.